Today is Friday, February the 3rd, 2023, and I am on here to talk to you about using HyperRubrics to assess tasks in your classroom. You have probably heard of Jennifer Gonzales, The Cult of Pedagogy. She is a well-known author on the subject of HyperRubrics. The HyperRubric is basically taking the traditional rubric and adding links and resources that students can use so that whatever they score when they first approach a task is not necessarily their ending point. Traditionally, when we used rubrics to grade students, it was to give them an idea of what the expectations were, to even involve our students in clear setting of goals for their projects so that we would get more quality work. But that type of rubric was typically used as a way to give students a final score at the end of their submissions. The HyperRubric kind of turns that idea on its head and adds in the growth mindset concept for students, which allows students to look at where they are scoring presently and what they can do to grow and how they can achieve a perfect mastery level score later on. It also gives gifted learners who might need a little bit of acceleration or enrichment an opportunity to go beyond the current level of expected performance for their grade level and explore exciting options that would deepen their thinking in your subject area. So let me go ahead and show you, first of all, a rubric that I have been working on with my students. So we are working in our hydrosphere unit in middle school science. And throughout the hydrosphere unit, we do several projects. One project that we do when we talk about estuaries is a water filter project. Students have to use their STEM thinking to design a water filter that will clean water successfully. And then they test it out and redesign, fix it, make it better, and try again. And then that process helps them understand the way that estuaries serve as a water filter to our coastal waters. So this is the assignment that I gave students. They have to propose their drawing design. They're supposed to research some different ideas online first. Then they build it and they write some sentences to tell about their results and do a redesign until they're happy with it. Then they record any changes that they've made in writing, tell about how they felt about the process, if they like the activity or not. And then they have to do a little bit of exploring to connect it to the area that we live in. They have to go in and find out information and some resources that I provide to them about our local water filtration in our county, and look at a water filter diagram and compare that to what we do in our county. So when I designed the rubric, I first just tried to think about what are the things that I want students to know and to be able to do at the end of this assessment task. So one thing is I wanted them to be able to do some research to find out what other students had done for water filter designs. That would help them, get a good head start on how to make their design a little bit more efficiently. The second thing is that I want students to be writing about their thinking and be able to communicate clearly to others their reasoning for how they took the steps that they did, why they took the steps that they did, and what changes they might have needed to make along the way. The third thing that I wanted them to be able to do is connect the water filtration project and understand how this applies to their everyday lives. So in my rubric, I have these 3 different sections. Instead of just saying a score of 1, score of 2, score of 3, I have indicated that these are levels, which gives the students the opportunity to move from level to level to level. And then as you see, I have hyperlinked these different levels, so that if a student is scoring at a research level 1, meaning they're using some previous experience with water filters to help them make a design, but they're not really doing any outside research to find out what other students have done, that would be a level 1. In order for them to do some outside research to make it to the level 2, where they're actually using some ideas that they have found from other students, they're going to need to click on this link and learn about how water filtration works. So this water filtration video, it is only a 3-minute, 45-second video, but it basically shows you how to design a water filtration system and what parts are needed. So after students watch that video, then that can bump them to the next level. But if students also want to reach mastery, I want them to do more research than just one particular thing. So they would also need to come in and look at least one more video that I have provided here. But the nice thing about this is that students can research multiple ideas, because once they open this video in YouTube, the more videos come up and they're able to do as much research as they feel like they need to until they decide what they want to change about their water filter. Now, the really cool part that I get so excited about is this next mastery level. If students are already scoring at a research level 3, they have already most likely been on multiple sites, looked at multiple videos about how to make a water filter, and then used something they liked, or maybe combined some different ideas to make their design. So they would be scoring a level 3 already. In a normal rubric, the student would be like, oh, I'm done. Don't need to learn anything else, right? But most likely in your classroom, you encounter a situation where these students are done and your other students are still redesigning because their first designs didn't work. Or maybe they need to do some more research, figure out how to tweak their designs. During the time that the other students are going back and doing that, these students who are already scoring at a mastery level can do something that is engaging, that's connected to the topic for enrichment. And it can also accelerate them into the next grade level standards or the next logical course that connects to those standards. So Earth and Environmental Science is the next class that our students will take in science in high school. And so my 8th graders who are already ahead of the game, anything that we do that relates to keeping water clean, anything along those lines will accelerate them into the next grade level's content. So I thought, let's find something that they would already be interested in, that they may have a little knowledge of and want to know how it works. And what's something that kids are super interested in at this age level? They're special, like fancy water bottles, right? So the life straw is a big invention that a lot of students have heard of.
Whole house water filters.
And so I put this video in here about the life straw and how it actually works to eradicate disease. The filters that students are making in class aren't necessarily going to kill bacteria. They're just going to filter out the larger particles. So there'll still be some things remaining in the water, which they learn with the wastewater treatment process, that there's actually other steps that have to happen before we can drink water that has come through our systems. So this is actually a way for students to see, how does this make an impact? The really cool thing about this video is it talks about Jimmy Carter and the Carter Foundation and how they have used the life straw as a way to eradicate the guinea worm disease in other third world countries. So it's making global connections. It's showing students a possible application in real life, and even possible career paths that they might be interested in as engineers of products that solve health problems around the globe. So this is just a great way to enrich your students who need that little extra push. And it's all done just with them clicking into that. And who knows what other types of independent research the students might get excited about doing once they have watched this video. So that's basically how it works. So for my journaling, my students' writing, the first link that I have here for students that are scoring at a level 1 is a basic link to how to write procedures for science. And I made it super simple. It's actually something that even like elementary students could read, and it's just a real clear-cut explanation, because the students that score at a level 1, they're probably writing in a way that's incomplete or unclear. So really they just need that little bit of reminder. But students that are scoring a level 2 and want to move to a level 3, there's actually a video about how to write a lab report that goes into detailing the process and answering questions in a little bit more detail. Students who score at a level 3 are actually going to get a link to a career about scientific writing. So it might be something that students have never thought about, the idea of, if I love to write and I also love science, I could become a technical writer for a science textbook, or I could do videos about science for a company that produces these to go along with, student materials. So there are lots of career options that they can explore in science that could end up being one of your level 3 activities. A quick video is a nice way to introduce students to that. And if they even needed to spend a little bit more time while other students were finishing their writings, then you could encourage them to explore more information about that career and do a little mini report on it. Moving on to the scientific application, students were supposed to understand the basics of how water filtration works from reading in our River Basins book, which describes it. If they didn't get that, there's also a video. So this is giving multiple modalities for students who might learn better through watching a video and hearing that being read to them, rather than just reading it straight from the River Basins book. So that links to the water treatment video. It's a short video. Students scoring at a level 2 are showing that they have an understanding of how the water treatment systems in here work, but they might need more detail or clarity. So this goes into a little bit deeper explanation. And this one is also written on a simple level for students to be able to easily read and understand, but it has just a little bit more detail to what happens throughout the whole process. And it shows it in like a simple way at the same time. And it has like cute illustrations. So, the students are engaged by the art, even though the art kind of looks like elementary art. It's just something fun, and they don't mind reading it when the wording is separated on multiple pages, and it's shown to them as like a little storybook, picture book, instead of like a dense reading like they would get in this sort of material. And then for the scientific application level 3, students can read a Newsela article. This article, I think, will be highly engaging to them because it talks about an 11-year-old girl who really invented a water testing device for safety. And so this is written at their 8th grade reading level, which for a student scoring at a level 3 on the writing will probably be fine. Reading at that level because they're probably reading above level. And this just shows how kids can make a difference using what they have learned in this topic. So not only are you encouraging student thinking and learning beyond the text and beyond the initial standards, but you're also showing students how learning this can actually cause them to come up with ideas to solve world problems, and that yes, we learned that the Jimmy Carter Foundation is doing this, but you don't have to be like a past president to make a difference. This is an 11-year-old schoolgirl who actually invented something that was then used for a bigger purpose. So this is a great article to inspire them. And it also shows how she had a growth mindset because she had some roadblocks along the way, and she had a mentor that helped her. And then she was awarded a $25,000 check for her design. So that's going to motivate some of our students as well. So that is just how you create a HyperRubric in a nutshell. I hope you've enjoyed this video today. I hope that this will help you in designing your own HyperRubrics. I will link Jennifer Gonzales's Cult of Pedagogy article about HyperRubrics below in case you'd like to read more about it. It's just something that I've recently been exploring this year, and I'm excited to use it with my students with this next round of projects and see how it improves their learning and their motivation. I am Charlotte, and this has been Teacher Tip Friday. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to subscribe for more content every Monday and Friday. As always, don't forget to work hard, be kind, and amazing things will happen. Bye-bye.